We know you're kind of friends with Ilia too, and you know you're friends with Armin. Do you see them fighting this year?
I hope so. It's good fight for the both guys. So fighting is, we need to know who is the best fighter in the world. So the both guys is best fighters now. So I will be happy to watch that fight. Yeah, it's a crazy fight. Arman is good moves. Like he has a good kick, good wrestling, and the other guy has a good jiu-jitsu, a good puncher. You know, so it would be cool to watch that fight.
Ilia Topuria's mind games just backfired so violently that the UFC may have no choice but to throw him into the cage with the one man he absolutely did not want. Next, Arman Tsarukyan. Topuria thought he could humiliate Tsarukyan by calling him a timid little bird, but that single line detonated into a full-blown crisis within hours, and what happened off camera is 10 times uglier than what fans saw on fight night.
That's a quick little breakdown how Armin beat Dan Hooker. First of all, he took him down. Boom! Once he got him on the ground, he put him on his back, flat on his back. He put his arm by his head, and then he grabbed his own arm and choked him like this. Until Dan Hooker got a tap out.
Keep watching, because in less than 60 seconds I'm dropping the exact backstage moment that Topuria tried to weaponize against Tsarukyan, and why it might cost him his next title defense.
Is there a chance if they said to you, hey, you can fight for the belt, but it has to be in January, could you turn around that fast?
Of course. I can rest 1 week, fly to US and stay there 2 months. It's enough time to get ready. I didn't get any injured, thank God, and they have to say that. And hopefully on Tuesday they announce that fight, and me fighting main event with Topuria. Gotta take that chance, and I have pretty time to get ready.
It all kicked off during UFC Qatar weekend, where both men were in the same building but for totally different missions, and the energy instantly felt like two storms building toward impact.
I beat Dan Hooker and fighting for the title next.
There's some talk of Ilia Topuria maybe moving up to welterweight again without defending his lightweight belt. Would you want him to be the guy you fight for the belt?
No, for me it doesn't matter. I want to be a champion. Who is gonna be a champion, I'll fight. I'll take the fight.
Topuria wasn't even fighting, but he walked into the arena like a king returning to his throne, cornering his brother to a clean bantamweight win while soaking up every camera in the building.
Ilia got family money. Ilia's rich. And then Tsarukyan just housing. $1,000 a bite of caviar. He's just housing like caviar. Like, Armin's like rich. Could you imagine two rich dudes fighting for a UFC title? Like, two rich dudes that didn't get their money in fighting would be the craziest thing, because rich dudes don't fight.
Meanwhile, Tsarukyan walked in to do damage, and he delivered a violent message by steamrolling Dan Hooker with a second-round submission that felt less like a fight and more like a warning shot.
So I've got MMA news for you, and there's this video of Armin and Ilia going around. Ilia has his arm around Armin's neck like he's embracing him. He kind of casually walks off. Armin looks to be in good spirits. It doesn't look like a negative reaction. Ilia then tweets this: Armin, every time we see each other in person, you freeze up like a scared duck with no idea what to do. You know I handle you however I want. I fight whoever the UFC chooses, and remember, I slapped you and you just laughed. Then you go around acting like a gangster, so keep going. You're on the right path, just a few levels below me, kid. Yeah, dude, Ilia didn't slap Armin. Armin had a response to this saying, bro, you touched my neck like we were taking a family photo, and now you're calling it a slap online. The clip is clear. Your insecurity is even clearer. I don't need to act tough for Twitter. My work is inside the cage. If you want to know what a real slap feels like, I'll be happy to educate you. See you soon, El Pato, with the duck emoji. I don't know, like, are these guys like in on the joke here? Like, are they trolling us? Like, they like say they hate each other, but they actually don't, because these two have talked so much about each other, and this fight needs to happen. They need to book it.
The moment that choke landed, Tsarukyan didn't celebrate, he didn't flex, he didn't posture. He locked eyes with Topuria, and that's when the real fight began.
I know that you've already made your case, that's what you want next, and it makes complete sense. Why will you be able to be the one to defeat him?
I mean, you can watch my fights and to see like I'm a well-rounded fighter. I can strike, I can wrestle, I can kick, and my endurance is good, my condition, I'm explosive, confident, young. I don't know, I can like go so much things. I'm better than him, you know. He's maybe his hands is not faster but powerful, but I'm not gonna stay on that distance.
If you think that's wild, stay locked in, because in the next part, I'm gonna reveal the exact sentence Tsarukyan said that sent panic through Topuria's camp.
But Ilia's walking by. Oh, and he just threw it at him? Or did Ilia throw something first?
He's lucky that table was there, dude, because imagine Ilia.
You see how he rolled that too? What?
That shit's funny. If I am Armin Tsarukyan, you gotta find a way to see Ilia and to let him know what you're feeling and have people record it, and it's gonna go viral. You know what I'm saying? Create drama,
Right.
create a buzz.
Instead of staying quiet, Tsarukyan grabbed the spotlight and turned it into a megaphone, telling the world he was ready to fight Topuria as early as January, and accusing the champion of ducking him while standing 10 feet away.
Versus Ilia is an interesting matchup. I do not think the UFC will make Armin versus Ilia because I think they love Ilia as a champion. He's a great champion, and I don't think they really want Armin to become champion. He has a legitimate chance at beating Ilia. I can't believe I said it. I think Ilia might knock him out, but if anyone has a chance of beating Armin at Ilia at 155, it's Armin.
His confidence kept growing in the post-fight press conference where he admitted the UFC isn't just about fighting anymore. It's about being loud, being visible, and being undeniable.
Very possible.
Who's your top 5 pound for pound currently right now, UFC?
Well, I think Islam Makhachev is there for sure.
Yeah.
Topuria is there as well. Merad. Arman, Turkuz, I have a hard time. Tarkuzin is there too.
He had a great fight today. He did great.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And of course, John Jones is there. I believe John Jones.
You still put John Jones in your top 5?
I think I would put him there because of what he's done. You never know. You know what I mean? He left for a long time. He came back and he beat Stipe. There's rumor that talks about him fighting at the White House against
Pereira, right?
Pereira. That would be interesting. Pereira is one of the top right now. Actually, on paper, you have to give it.
And Tsarukyan wasn't joking. He broke down exactly how he would beat Topuria, keeping range on the feet and then drowning him with pressure. In wrestling the second, Topuria tried to trade power shots. He stressed it wasn't personal, just business, but even he knew this wasn't ending quietly. And oh man, was he right. Because Topuria woke up the next morning and went nuclear, dropping a backstage clip of the two smiling and talking like old friends, then twisting it into a story that Tsarukyan freezes every time he sees him in person. Topuria even claimed he had playfully smacked Tsarukyan before, and that Tsarukyan laughed like a scared kid instead of reacting.
Все видели, что ты сделал сейчас с Хукером, видели брутальный финиш с Дариушем из последнего. А ты вот мог бы в красках описать, как бы ты хотел завершить бой с Топурией?
Топурию я бы хотел забить локтями, просто изрезать все лицо и закончить ТКО.
Кстати, вот если говорить про лицо, ты видел Хукера лицо?
Да.
Сейчас просто вот сразу открыл, покажу.
Покажи. Жалко Хукера. Вот еще вот другой глаз еще так же сделать Топурия, вообще будет бомба.
Tsarukyan's response was immediate and lethal, calling the claims pure desperation and telling Topuria that if he really wants to know what a slap feels like, they can settle it in the cage anytime, any place. And then came the dagger. Tsarukyan embraced the duck, insult, and hurled it right back at the champ with a new nickname that blew up online in minutes. Stick around, because in the next 60 seconds I'm revealing the exact reason the UFC might actually prefer not to book this fight next, and it's way more controversial than you think. Here's the truth. Despite all this chaos, Topuria hasn't defended his belt once, and the UFC is quietly floating names like Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje ahead of Tsarukyan. Why? Simple. Those names sell bigger, and Topuria knows it. Topuria even hinted he wants to jump to welterweight next, which sounds ambitious unless you realize it might also be a convenient escape from the division's most dangerous challenger. But the MMA world isn't buying it, and the pressure is building.
Ilia, why are you running?
I will take your lights out in the first round.
Sean O'Malley came out and straight up said the UFC might be protecting Topuria from Tsarukyan because stylistically, Tsarukyan might actually be the guy to dethrone him. O'Malley didn't deny Topuria's knockout power, but he said Tsarukyan is the nightmare matchup nobody in the division wants to deal with. Georges St-Pierre added gasoline to the fire by naming Tsarukyan one of the best pound-for-pound fighters alive right now, putting him in the same conversation as Makhachev, Jones, and Pereira. And if that wasn't enough, Khamzat Chimaev jumped in and called Tsarukyan the best fighter in the entire lightweight division, saying he should already be treated as the rightful next title challenger. But Tsarukyan's road hasn't been clean.
Does Arman Tsarukyan beat Ilia Topuria? So Arman absolutely ran through Dan Hooker as expected, but it's crazy to see him display no ring rust despite being out for so long. But man, having Khamzat in your corner is just elite, and these guys have really been helping each other become better fighters. So to me, it's clear that Arman is next for the shot at the title. None of this nonsense with Justin Gaethje or Paddy Pimblett. The fight to make is Ilia and Arman, and do I think Arman has what it takes to beat Ilia? I definitely think he has the tools, because although I favor Ilia more on the feet, I definitely favor Arman on the ground, but at the same time, both guys are solid wherever the fight goes. So I think it's a tough fight to call, especially because I can never pick against Ilia, but I do know this is the toughest test for him at lightweight, and if he fights someone else or tries to move up to fight Islam, then he's ducking the #1 contender at 155. But what do you think?
He lost his original title shot against Islam Makhachev due to a last-minute back injury, a move Dana White wasn't happy about, and when Makhachev later vacated the belt, Tsarukyan was quietly pushed aside as Topuria claimed gold against Oliveira. Now Topuria sits on the throne, chest out, chin high, convinced nobody in the division can touch him, and blasting Tsarukyan online only fuels that confidence. Meanwhile, Tsarukyan keeps doing what he does best, winning fights, calling out champions, and forcing the UFC to acknowledge the contender they've been trying to stall.
Are you a little bit disappointed that this week Ilia didn't seem to want to have anything to do with you?
I mean, I didn't want to mention too much Ilia because I was focused on my fight. But after today, I'm gonna try to again create some crazy videos that are gonna be viral and try to make a joke, you know, and to bring a lot of eyes for that fight, because it's like a media sport too, you know. You gotta be a good fighter and a good showman. Hopefully on Tuesday they announced that fight, and me fighting main event with Topuria when it's gonna be in Vegas or in Los Angeles. So I'm ready. I gotta take that chance, and I have pretty time to get ready. In my mind go like I can strike with him on the long distance, but when he wants to try like to box me and throw his hard punch, at that moment I'm gonna shoot and take him down. So, and I believe myself, and I know I can beat him so easy as well.
If the UFC wants spectacle, Tsarukyan waits. If they want the rightful challenger, the fight is already written in blood. And after everything that exploded in Qatar, the rivalry between Arman Tsarukyan and Ilia Topuria isn't hype, isn't build-up, and isn't speculation. It's the next war the MMA world is begging to witness.